And we're live. Apologies for the technical issue there. We had a bit of drama just before we went live, so apologies for that. But we're back. Sullivan once again has opened his mouth to line his own pockets and look for potential suitors and potentially start a bidding war with this £100 million price tag on Kudus. And also, we've got the small matter of Brighton visiting the London Stadium on Saturday. So this is the big match preview. Dan, thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully Nicky will be along a little bit later. But do you know what? Before we even start, one thing we're going to say, our condolences with Lopetegui, with his dad sadly passing away. We know he's flown back out home, I believe, to go and be with his family. So rest in peace. We send him all our best. But, Sullivan does what Sullivan does. We had the similar scenario with Declan Rice. We were all buzzing from going on the European tour, winning the trophy, and then he decides to put his foot in it, saying that we were open to offers for a captain. And once again, our shining star, the man that seems to, barring Bowen and Souček try to drag this team up, we're open for offers again. It's not good, is it?
No, exactly. And that was the very next day, the very morning after the win, before we even had a chance to have the parade. He was got into TalkSport, into Jim White, talking about offers for Declan Rice. And now, he's talking about being open to £100 million offers with the need to sign a striker. Obviously, the striker issue is huge. But, if you're an ambitious team, you want to add to Kudus. You want Kudus with a quality striker, which we should have done in the summer. We had the opportunity to do that with Duran. But we penny pinched. We went and got Füllkrug. So you're kind of admitting that Füllkrug isn't the answer in that statement. You don't view him as the striker that we need. We need to go and sell Kudus to get that striker, which is just a bad case of mismanagement. And you're putting out this story ahead of a key Brighton game, which isn't great to unsettle a squad thinking about, is this guy going to be here? Kudus is wondering what his future is. It's just another own goal for Sullivan, I think.
Well, this is it, mate. And, this is the annoying thing. Look, I understand the business side of things. I get there is a business. Football is a business. We do need to make money. And, we've always been a club that sells our best players, right? Now I hope that we've got a bit more resilience with us. Look, Kudus is a quality player, and same as Declan Rice, we know they're going to move on eventually. But we know that as fans. Football clubs know that players are available. Football clubs know every player is available for the right price. Why do you, as an owner, have to go out there and say, oh, well, for 100 million, we'll listen to offers? Do you know what I mean? Why do you have to do that? Why can't you just keep your mouth shut? Right, we've had a fairly decent result away to Bournemouth. Kudus coming back in to the side after returning, obviously the other week after his ban. So the spotlight's been on him a little bit. This is your chance, right? Okay, we picked up the win against Wolves. We picked up a decent point away to Bournemouth, and again, you want to shine the spotlight on something negative. Instead of trying to grasp at positives and bring some positives into the season, which this season we need positives. You're focusing on a negative. You're looking like one of our star players you want to get it rid of. I don't understand the timing, and I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
No, neither do I. I would much prefer we just move in silence. If someone does make a bid for Kudus and it's nowhere near our valuation, and we just reject it. That's simple as. But it's like he's purposely put him out in the shop window because he does want those offers. He's hoping to get £100 million bid, which would be good money for Kudus. Kudus, I think, is absolutely quality. But and at the moment he is one of our key players. People don't think he's been up to his usual standard, and I would agree that. I don't think the position that he's been played in does him any favours. But still, if anything's going to happen, you're looking to Kudus to make something happen on his own. And losing him would be a big blow. It'd be
Yeah.
ideal if we just had that quality striker with him. People are talking about Delap. I don't think Ipswich are going to look to sell in January. That would be them all but relegated if they sold Delap.
Yeah. Madness. That'd be madness for them.
We do need the striker. Like I'm glad he at least admits like that we desperately need one. Obviously the Antonio situation has happened. That's probably pushed and forced his hand a bit more. But where you get one in January, it's going to be very difficult to get what we need and not end up with another Ings or another Fulkrug.
Yeah. The thing is, Dan, as well, right? When you look at it, again, this is timings, yeah? Okay, we had the terrible news about Antonio getting injured. Let's not beat around the bush. Antonio's needed replacing in the side for a couple of seasons. But we knew come the end of this season, it was the season to say farewell to Antonio and bring another striker in. Right? So that should have been factored into the plans for next season. Right? Okay, what's happened is terrible what's happened, and we all wish him all the best. But you've now got to bring that plan forward a little bit to January, right? But then look at Fulkrug, right? Come on the other week and scored a goal, gets his first goal, right? Comes on in the game against Bournemouth. I think he played pretty well. You see him trying to link up with players. You see what he's about as a player. Once again, you've shot yourself in the foot because the player's just got his chance. As I said, got a goal against Leicester, comes on against Bournemouth, links up well, almost scores himself. Right, probably should have scored, yeah, but almost does that. So his confidence is starting to pick up a bit. You can start seeing, right, well, this is how we're going to play with him up top. He's going to link up the play straight away. Well, yeah, we need another striker. You know, strikers ain't good enough. Yeah. So again, this circus that Sullivan keeps pumping out and pumping out and pumping out just keeps on giving. And this is the thing. Take the attention away from, give the players some confidence. Yeah, take the attention away from the football club. We don't need this negative press. We don't need, we're going to sell this player. Our players ain't good enough. Don't need that. We need, we'll we're not selling nobody. Football teams know. Everybody knows. Agents are out there all the time. You know as well as I do. They're out there all the time going, scouting their players out to clubs going, well, you know, if you bid 100 million, you'll get Kudus from West Ham. They ain't going to turn down 100 million. They'll go to another one. Arsenal going to bid 100 million. You know, why don't you bid 105? There it works. Everybody knows. You don't need to spat it out there.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you're revealing your hand. That's the problem. Too much talking for my liking. And like you said, it doesn't do his current strikers any confidence either. You know, it harkens back to when we had Fonte and Snodgrass, and he was like, I didn't want to sign him. It was my sons. And it's like, wow, they're still at the club. Yeah. And you basically just said, nah, they convinced me to sign him. I didn't want him. Like, he's just a nightmare, honestly. But I think there's positives in the side. We just need to click, and that's the thing. Like, I thought Paqueta was an interesting one. Everyone sort of really was up in arms ahead of the game against Bournemouth because he posted something about wanting to go. It was like some lyrics about wanting to go home, and everyone took that as him wanting to leave West Ham, and people got up in arms. And then, you know, he goes, takes the penalty, he kisses the badge, you know, he says he loves the club, and it turns out that the thing that it was like a Christian thing that he posted about going home. It was like a Christian song, and people have completely took it the wrong way and took it as he don't want to be it. So yeah, I mean, he's starting to improve, Paqueta, and he took his penalty well. But it just shows you, innit, how quick everyone is to jump on these things and read too much into everything.
Unfortunately, mate, that's modern day society. You know, everyone jumps on the bandwagon before looking into things and investigating things in the proper sense. You know, and I thought that was the celebration by Paqueta. I thought was a big celebration. You know, because he runs straight over to the manager as well.
Yeah, that was big.
Remember, that's huge. Because that's a player saying that's a key player into our side. As much as, look, we know he does silly things sometimes. We know he gives the ball away a lot. But the problem, he gives the ball away a lot because he's trying things to do the right thing. So, you know, you're looking at that, and that's a big thing. You know, a big thing. We've needed Paqueta to step up. We still needed to improve. He's still not running on 100%. But he took that penalty really well. You know, he as I said, he's trying things that a lot of West Ham players don't try. And I think the performance against Bournemouth, I think a lot of people were looking at it too negatively for me. There was a lot of positives to take out of that game. A lot of positives. For
Yeah.
someone that didn't watch it, and you see someone like Fabianski being our best player, you sit there and think, "Oh, we got battered." But it was only last season when Ariola got man of the match 2 games on the spin, and we won both games, I think 3-1. So you can't sit there and justify a performance where you win a game 3-1 and your goalkeeper gets man of the match saying it was a brilliant performance when it wasn't. We just took our chances. Bournemouth, we didn't. Bournemouth had a lot of chances, same as games last season that we won, and teams had a lot of chances against us. The difference is you've got to be clinical. On the night, neither team were really clinical.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think with that Bournemouth performance, first half, after initial the typical opening 10-minute just switch off where we don't turn up, we were really good in that first half. We moved the ball well, we create chances, we put them under pressure, and we hit the crossbar. Second half, we didn't come out for a good while in that second half, and a long portion of that second half, we gave up so many chances, and that's the frustrating thing, to the point where, if we was going to win it, I don't think we deserved 3 points. I thought the draw was the fair result. Paqueta running over to Lopetegui is huge and interesting, because you hear all these problems in the dressing room of the players not liking Lopetegui, having bust-ups with him. Now, I don't know if this is if Paqueta's actions symbolise the feelings of everyone in the dressing room, because I heard there was another bust-up with Todibo. This is all rumours, someone said. So I don't know if this is his response to that, of showing, because there was a rumour that Todibo had the bust-up and then Mavropanos stepped in and defended Lopetegui. This is all rumours, by the way. I think someone... So take this with the hugest grain of salt. So I don't know if this is way of rallying around the manager after something like that, or just to show people like all the news is bollocks and we really are behind the manager. But yeah, like I said, and as people are saying in the chat, like, it is tough with Lopetegui. Still, yeah, we've not been as terrible as it feels like, but it's just certain things that he does, decisions, the constant chopping, changing of the lineup. It's so hard to really get behind it at the moment. That's my problem.
No, and this is the thing, mate. I'm with you. I'm with you, because we're not settled. There's no what you can actually say settled side. There's still no true identity. You saw bits and pieces. You saw flashes, the link-up play and that type of thing that, as I said before, crew coming in and the style that we're looking to play. But it's still not ingrained. There's still no true identity within the side. And, we're still playing Kudus in the wrong position. That's me and you agree on. He shouldn't be out on that left. I thought in some cases, him, Paquetá and Bowen switched around a little bit at times. A few times we then didn't have a focal point up front, which Fulkrug actually brought us in the second half.
Yeah.
And that's it. You've got to look at Bournemouth and the fact of they have beaten some good sides at home this season, right? And their manager at half-time tweaked their system, right, which then they got on top. And then it took us probably a little... For Lopetegui, it's a bit unusual, because normally he tries to respond quite quickly. It took us a little while to respond and then get going. But like, I'm with you. A draw was definitely the right result on Monday. We can't knock that at all.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, the point is great if, in the grand scheme of things, we then go and get a win against Brighton and a win against Southampton, and you look at it and go, yeah, that's a good run. If we go and lose them games, you sit there and think, wow, 1 point in 3. That's shocking. And I go into this Brighton game, they've not been on a great run of form.
Well, this is the thing. They lost the M23 derby the other day, 3-1 at home. And this is the thing, and that
they were awful. I watched that game. They were awful.
That's what I mean. And the annoying thing for me is they were awful. They lost that, and we struggle against Brighton as it is. I'm sure since they've been in the Premier League, we've not beaten them at home in the Premier League.
What was the score last season at home? I know we beat them 3-1 away.
I think it was away, wasn't it? I'm sure we've not lost the game at home again. They've not lost the game at our place. Sure it is. I'll double check, but I'm sure that's what it was. The record of
Yeah,
his been there, has been shocking. And I think at home as well, we sort of struggle to
I think
score
it
against
might
them.
be. I
I'm
think
sure
it's
we haven't
yeah,
lost.
it was. So yeah, we beat them 3-1. Yeah, it was a 0-0 draw last game.
Yeah. So this
Last,
and this is the thing, our track record against them isn't great, but
yeah,
different managers now, so you just don't know. And like you said,
yeah,
maybe they perform.
yeah. That's it. These things can't last forever. I was actually at the last home game we beat them and 6-0 in the championship 2012. I was at that game and I was like, wow, I want to stay in the championship. This is amazing. Right. You see the season before that, just the most miserable season of your life. And then you're in the championship and you're smacking teams on a regular basis. Great times. But yeah, I spoke to one of my Brighton mates and I just said to him, like, why have they dropped off? And he said loads of factors, to be honest: in-game management, tactics, injuries, and last game our players just being shite. We're really struggling against teams in the bottom half, which is interesting, which we're one of those at the moment, which is one of the times to be a positive team in the bottom half. We've beaten Man City, Man United, and Spurs, and drawn versus Arsenal, and then drawn/lost to Wolves, Ipswich, Saints, and Palace. So
this is the thing, mate. When you look at that, like you said, that the win against City and the win against Bournemouth were massive for them. But then, like you said, that run of form since then, the draw with Southampton, who have been awful. Fulham have been a funny team this year. They've got some decent results about them, so you can't be too discredited about that one. But then drawing away to Leicester and then getting beat the way they did with by Palace, it could be dipping off a little. And like, let's look at us at the minute, right? Since that thrashing by Arsenal, right, we went away to Leicester. Okay, we lost 3-1, but the performance was a lot better. Yeah, we didn't again take our chances in that game. The scoreline's completely different.
It's hard to take positive, Scott, though, when you lose 3-1 to relegation.
Yeah, of course it is. But this is the thing, Dan. When you've got to sometimes look beyond the result and look at the performances, right?
But then it tells you that if we had all them chances we're not scoring, we've got a massive issue with our finishing.
Yeah.
If you don't score, you don't win. That's the thing. You've got to score to win the game.
I'm trying to think, mate. I do think our last few goals have all come from set pieces, haven't they?
Yeah, which we was not scoring any set pieces at all.
I think it's what is it? A penalty, 2 corners.
Yeah, free kick.
What was the second one? Was it a corner against Wolves?
Yeah, it was. We scored a corner and a free kick. No, free kick was Arsenal, wasn't it? Free kick was Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the Wan-Bissaka's goal was in open play. Then Emerson's free kick.
Wan-Bissaka goal, yeah.
And I'm sure the 2 against Wolves were set plays.
Yeah. So,
no,
you might.
That's like you said, the amount of chances we've created in the last 3 games, the Leicester game, the Bournemouth game as well. We had a good few chances there. Bowen hit the crossbar or the post in. We put a couple wide. Wolves, we missed a hatful of chances as well. So we're creating chances. We just need someone there to take them. And the thing going back to the Bournemouth game I liked is when Fulcrum did come on the pitch, we always had someone in the box.
Yeah,
Which, and this is
Antonio was never there.
No, and that's what we're lacking, and that's what we're going to need going into this game. We need to be very clinical. Brighton has said our track record with them ain't great. Danny Welbeck, I think he scored more goals against West Ham than he has any other Premier League club. And he's another. Whether he's playing or not, I'm not too sure because obviously he does have his injury problems. But he's a good striker. He doesn't let defences rest. And the problem with our defence sometimes is when you get about them, they crumble. And if we try and play a high line, even though Danny Welbeck is aging a little bit now, you can still see him getting beyond Mavropanos and Kilman. And this is for me, the setup has got to be right. The setup's got to be on point. If Todibo and Lopetegui have had this falling out, then that needs to be rectified as soon as possible. Because look, you can't go through working with people, especially in a high intensity situation like you have at a football club, without falling out of players. But somewhere along the line, you've got to try and repair that relationship. And that we need them relationships to be repaired. Whether it's the captain does it, or whether it's either the player or the manager swallow their pride and deal with it, and they've got to get it all sorted. It does need to be done.
No, 100%. Because he's a player, like I said. I think I rate him. Obviously, we've conceded a load of goals with or without him in the team, which I think it speaks to a greater problem and not so much personnel. It's just been the setup really has been all wrong for the players that we've got, and I think that's been the issue. Especially Mavropanos is an interesting one because you got to. I thought he had a good game against Bournemouth. However, the rash challenge that gave up the free kick that we conceded, that is the issue with Mavropanos. Too rash at times. It was just no need for that. Absolutely no need. And he's put us in a situation, and that is the issue. You'll get less of that with Todibo. And that's the thing. Backs to the wall, like sitting deep defending Mavropanos is good, but you just never know if he's going to give away a penalty or so. He could have gave away a penalty. I think it was against Newcastle. I think was it him?
Yeah, when he Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson. Yeah, there's been a couple of them ones where you're like, kind of got away with it. There was the Wolves one where he stepped on the player's foot in the box. Kind of got away with it there. Did not get away with that free kick. And that is my issue with Mavropanos. He's very rash.
Yeah.
And Brighton, with the pressure that they're probably going to put us under with their attackers, we can't afford to be rash.
No. This is the thing we need. We need to be, as I said, mate, defensively, we need to be on point in this game. And we've got to start looking up. And I said, a Brighton in a poor run of form is a side that we've got to get about and try and get behind. They've got weak points in their defence, but it's using our key strengths to get through them. If we look into the starting 11 wise, as I said, I think Füllkrug probably deserves a start. I think that he put in enough there for me to warrant it. But then I'm sitting there thinking, with players like Dunk and the like, is a Bowen and Kudus attack, sort of thing a lot better, to have there than you're more focal forward, if you know what I mean. With that Bowen with his movement and then the width that Kudus gives you, especially playing on the right, because we know that's his best position, barring being in the 10. Would that work better at the start and then bring Füllkrug on again in the second half to try and make differences there?
Yeah, well, Joe, we might as well, I guess, if you want, go into our starting 11. Off the top of our head, like usually, we think about this and we have a think, and we off the top of our head, just let's freestyle a starting 11, I guess.
Well, the thing is, it's tough, isn't it? Because when you said we're not too sure on the injury news, for me, Fabas the starting goal. We can't knock this performance against Bournemouth.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Yeah. So we can't knock that one. I want to see Wan-Bissaka back on the right. I didn't think Kufel done too much wrong. He was a bit got caught out a couple of times, but I want to see Emerson come back in on the left. I'd stick with Kilman and Mavropanos. I think Todibo picked up a knock, didn't he, before the Bournemouth game?
Well, that was the official story, wasn't it? That he hurt his toe. So I don't know if that's going to rule him out for this game, or if that even was the real story. And not saying you just don't know. But if it is a toe, I don't know. I don't know if it's a long-term one or something.
Probably nothing. And the other thing I'll tell you what, let's finish the starting everything. We'll talk about Alvarez. I don't think did much wrong. He looks much more in control and more composed, less rash. I thought. I know he picked up a booking, but it wasn't through a rash challenge in the end. It was a booking that was more of a tactical booking. So I think he starts again. Soler, I think he does enough to warrant his place again.
Isn't he? Didn't he pick up?
He's suspended, isn't he?
Yeah. Which is a big blow.
Yeah, so that is a loss because he just seems to be coming into his own now. He seems to be getting more involved, adapting to the Premier League a lot more. So with him out, Joe, what? Souček, Paquetá, as your midfield. So yeah, Alvarez, Souček, Paquetá as your midfield three. Kudus on the right, Bowen up top, and then bring Somerville back in on the left hand side. I think start with that.
Yeah, I think I'd go the same back line as you. Emerson come back in. I think he was suspended, wasn't he?
Yeah,
the last game. And we are picking up yellow cards like crazy all over the pitch, I've noticed. I think Paquetá is 1 yellow away from a suspension. Hopefully he's not got any bets on that. But yeah, same. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka right back, Emerson left back. I would go to Debo, just assuming Tadebo's injured. Then I'll go Mavropanos and Kilman. And then I would go a midfield pairing of. Do you know what? Alvarez is out as well. I go suit.
No, Alvarez isn't out.
Well,
he's not out.
Yeah. Do you know what? On the assumption, no, even if he's out or not out, midfield pairing, I'm going to go Souček and Paquetá in that as that midfield pairing, because I think Souček Soler worked quite well when we saw them, and to give him credit, like Souček's been decent this game. He's still going to be limited in what you get for him, but he's been effective this season, I would say. So I would have Souček, Paquetá, and then I'd have Kudus in the middle in the 10, Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right, Füllkrug up top. If I saw that, I'd be a very happy man if I saw that lineup. That, to me, everyone in their proper place where they belong. And yeah, like I said, I think that team is capable, because then you've got Kudus and Füllkrug helping to create from. You've got Paquetá, obviously, but he obviously is going to get forward a bit more box to box and help create. But we also know Paquetá is quite good at getting stuck in the defensive duties as well. So we got someone in that 8 role that can actually pass and move the ball. So yeah, I honestly, like, they're going to be coming back with a point to prove after getting done by their sort of rivals.
Yeah.
So they're going to be hurting on that one. They're going to really be fired up. But we're home. This is an important win for us to get.
Definitely.
We've got Liverpool coming up as our next home game, so we need to win this one, because the chances of beating Liverpool are slim.
But this is the thing, mate. I think with the fact that they're on this run and the way they lost to Palace the other day, I think if we can get an early goal, I think it will turn things into our favour, because that defeat will be in their mind.
We start so slow. Early goals are very unlikely in this side.
Oh, of course it is. But it's what we need. The worst thing for us is conceding an early goal. I do believe if we concede early in this game, we won't win it. We won't come back and win it. And that's the thing. I think I think if we can get an early goal, they will crumble at some point. And eventually, we'll go on and get a second. But I think if we concede, I don't see a way back. And that's the thing for me at the minute. I'm not confident in us if we concede, because we seem to have spells in games where we just fall apart. And we concede goals quickly, or we concede chances very quickly. You saw it at the start of the second half against Bournemouth. We conceded a lot of chances early. We had the mad spell against Arsenal where we conceded quickly. Spurs, we've done it this season, and as we know, like you said, we don't start well in the first half, and we also don't start well in the second half. So that's something we've got to work on. And I do think we are slowly turning the corner, very, very slowly. We're going around it quite wide like a massive double-decker bus, but we are slowly turning the corner. And I think if we can get a win here, go to Southampton. Look, I know Southampton going to have a new manager by then, but again, they can't defend. They cannot defend. They're worse defensively than what we are. And we're shocking this season defensively. So, I just think this is a good chance to put a little run together, pick up some points going into this Christmas period. Someone said in the comments there, you've got Rodriguez, Alvarez, Souček, and Paquetá, all 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Which one of them don't want to play around Boxing Day?
Yeah. Well, apparently Lopetegui's on 4 yellows.
Yeah.
So
that's the crazy thing, mate.
There's a big lack of discipline throughout the whole squad. It seems top. I think there's also an element of that we're seeing more yellows this season. The way where they've sort of changed rules and they're trying to crack down on things. You're seeing more yellows than you've ever seen before. That's also an issue. So this whole suspension thing after 5 yellows, I think it's a stupid rule. I really hate it.
And that's the thing. The problem is, though, Dan, is that when you look at a lot of the yellow cards that some of our players pick up, look, I think with people like Soler, they're more tactical fouls. Do you know what I mean? He's not a rash challenger. You know, Alvarez, half of his bookings that he's picked up this season have been avoidable. You know, and that's the thing with him. You know, if a player pulls a player back because he's running through and, you know, what they class as a tactical foul, you don't mind that. Player picking up a yellow card for that, you don't mind that one bit. But like you said, I think players are picking up yellow cards a bit for silly things that they don't need to be doing or rash challenges. You know, and that's something that again comes down to discipline. You know, you shouldn't be getting booked for ill discipline. You shouldn't be. You know the rules. Don't kick the ball away. Don't, you know, square up to the referee or shout or scream at the officials, something like that. They're inexcusable yellow cards, right? And if you've got players picking up, that's more discipline. You know, as I said, with Alvarez, he was rash. He needed someone to sit down and say to him, "Listen, you need to calm down, mate. You know, you don't need to make these changes you're making." But said tactical fouls, and that's just part of the game that happens. And you, as a manager, there's times when you want your players to do that.
Yeah, no, that's it. You know, it's so hopefully we can sort out. But this is one of them things, isn't it? Like, really, going into Southampton, like those players that are going to pick up yellows, like if I was them, I'd pick up the yellow. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because you either pick up the yellow against Brighton, so they miss Southampton. You hope the players that we've got left are strong enough to beat Southampton, or you hope that they pick up the yellows against Southampton and we've got a free hit against Liverpool anyway. But you don't want to see us get completely destroyed against Liverpool because that'd kill our morale like it did against Arsenal. I mean, what do you think? What do you like if you're a manager? Like the yellow card is going to come. It's unavoidable. If you know they're 1 yellow away from a suspension, do you think it's better for them to miss on paper the most winnable game or the most unwinnable game if they're going to get that suspension?
It's a tough one, mate, because like you said, when you look at the Southampton game, that's a game that it's a must win, you know, because they are that bad, and you want to have your strongest team available for that game to win that and get the 3 points. But you also need your strongest 11 to take on a decent Liverpool side. You know, you don't, like you said, you don't want to get dicked, and that's the problem. You know, to go and get beat by Liverpool 4 or 5s is more demoralising than getting a decent performance, getting beat by 1 or 2. You know, and for me, you need your strongest players to have any chance of beating the strongest side. So if I'm looking at, I want players to pick up a booking towards the end of the game so that they're going to get suspended. I'd rather them not get booked, to be honest, unless they have to.
No, but the problem is they're going to get booked eventually. You know?
Yeah, if I'm picking players to want to get booked, then, you know, Paquetá, will he be a big miss against Southampton? Probably not. So I'd rather he's suspended for that one playing against Liverpool. Alvarez, I think we're going to need against Liverpool. Souček, we're going to need against Liverpool. So ideally, I want them all to pick up the booking against Brighton so they miss Southampton. But I know losing them 3 for our midfield leaves us very, very weak and open. So it's tough.
You'd probably mix it up over the 2 fixtures, isn't it? Rather than like, I mean, look, we might not have any control; they might get booked anyway, and that's the thing. But ideally, if it's in your control and you can actually say, right, if I have to pick one game, I'm going to miss you for, I'm going to do this one, right? So if it gets to this point, you ain't got yellow, just make a silly tactical foul. Just the middle of the pitch, right? And then you go and do that. Problem is, if Paquetá does it, it's going to go against these cases.
Just make sure no one's betting on you when you do it.
Exactly. That's the thing. But yeah, if I had to pick, though, either one, I'd probably say miss the Liverpool game and then us just park the bus like crazy. Like literally make them have to really break us down and just go ultra defensive. Like, so we miss out those key players, but we sit deep and we don't give them any space, and we just work our asses off, right? But we're missing our better players, and then we make sure we get a convincing win against Southampton, because that is really important. And I don't think even if we have our best players available, we'll get a win from Liverpool. So, yeah, let them be suspended for that game, and then, yeah, just park the bus, and then, you know, mitigate disaster and maybe eke out a draw or shithouse a win, even from set pieces or something.
Yeah.
But
That's it,
yeah.
That's it. The thing is that, you know, I know because I haven't spoken to you properly since Bournemouth game. I know we're getting towards the end, but we're sitting here. It was good to see a couple of youngsters get on the pitch against Bournemouth as well.
That was I don't know, where did that come from? Has he been visited by 3 ghosts? You know, like, where has that been all season? That was really positive, really refreshing, and I'm hoping we get to see more of that.
Definitely, mate. You know, I don't think they did too bad when they come on. You know, Scars looked a bit. It took him a little while to get up to the speed of the game, but I thought overall he played okay. And you know, it's good to see. And this is the thing we keep saying with, you know, a lot of people sitting there, you know, with all the thingy the managers roundabout and what's going on with Lopetegui and all that. People saying, oh, you know, well, maybe we shouldn't have got rid of Moyes. You know, at the end of the day, half the reason we're in this position is because of David Moyes, and people really need to remember that. He allowed the squad to get diminished. He allowed the squad to age. So, you know, the position we're in is partly because of him. And, you know, I think people who were sitting there, the Moyes in brigade, who were like, oh, we should get him back and all that. These are the things you need to look at, you know, and stuff like that. And this is the thing. This is what we've got. This is why this season was a massive rebuild. And it's still going to be a rebuild, but it's a hard rebuild because we're in the position that we're in. But as I said, good to see a couple of youngsters getting a game.
Yeah, 100%. And with Sullivan talking about, we need to raise money so we can sign this and sign that. You know, this is where it shows you how important it is to bring the youngsters through, because then you're not having to go out if they can come through and be an important team. You don't have to think, oh, damn, we need to sign another left back. You know, we need to sign another centre mid. You know, you've got these players there. So, yeah, it's massively important to get those minutes. Like, they've come on, we've drawn the game. They've not had any disasters. That's vital experience.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And so, coming into a side when sort of when our backs are against the wall, so to speak, in the sense where we are league position wise, you know, it's a big thing, and to be trusted, it will give them confidence, and that's what you need, you know. And we've been saying for a while, you know, Emerson's been brilliant for us, but his backup is Creswell. Well, I'd rather see his backup be Ollie Scars. I'd rather Scars get given the opportunity.
Yeah, Creswell weren't even in the squad, was he? He was there, but he weren't in the squad.
No. You know, I don't know whether he picked up a knock or anything like that, but it was good to see, and that's what we want to see. We need to start seeing some fresher bodies coming into the side, some younger blood. So hopefully, you know, it's hopefully we see it a bit more, and they continue to do really, really well.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the prediction, let me get to this this comment from Miss Amaret. She says, and Scott, with this lovely surprise live, could I ask a favour? It's my birthday Friday, so may not make Friday night pint and going for a Ruby and some voddies. It'd make my pre-match birthday to get a sing song. Bloody hell. Scott, the one and only, take it away.
No, I don't sing, you know that.
I'll tell you what, at the very least, we can sing happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll sing you happy birthday. So, right, ready, Dan?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to
you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Miss Amaret. Happy birthday
to you.
That was
only the second person to get me to sing on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that was almost as painful as the Chesney Hawks one we done. It's so hard on it because you're out of time with each other. I was trying to keep you in time. So there you go.
Miss Amaret, have a good birthday on Friday, and we'll have a drink for you. Even though I'm trying to stay off the booze for a little while, but we'll have a drink for you on Friday.
Scott's had one of them weekends where he's sworn off drink.
Yeah, I should be doing dry. I should be doing a dry year after the weekend. So
yeah. dry 25.
Yeah, I need it,
So
mate.
right. Prediction wise, this one's a tough one. Would you? I don't.
Go on, no, you
I
can
hate.
go first, mate. You can go
All
first.
right.
Come on.
Oh. Do you know what? I always hate feeling confident. It makes me uneasy. I love it. Like when I went into the Bournemouth game, and like the Newcastle game, I was so pessimistic, and we exceeded my expectations. But I am fairly confident, not overly confident, but I'm feel good about this game. So I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. Obviously, I still think keeping a clean sheet is going to be a bit of a stretch, especially against a team like Brighton. But yeah, last home game before Christmas. I think the fans will be up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, the players go and put a shift in for Lopetegui after what he's gone through with his dad, and we get positive results. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. 2-1 for Mr. Amaret. Nice win.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? That's what I was going to go for. So you've stolen that one. So I'm going to go 3-2 West Ham.
Ooh, high scoring game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we will nick it, but like you, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. So yeah, I'm gonna say 3-2. So let's just hope that ain't a curse of the commentator, mate. That's the last thing we need.
No. Yeah, listen, that's the problem. That's why I always feel uneasy about feeling confident. Yeah, and then we go into that Southampton game. That one is huge. That's Boxing Day, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's a massive game.
I've had many a Boxing Day ruined by West Ham, so I'm hoping this ain't going to be one of them.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. I said big couple of weeks. Games coming thick and fast, so it's one of them. But we're going to wrap this one up tonight. Dan, been a pleasure, mate, as always. As I said, we have got things coming thick and fast. We'll be there on Saturday. Well, no, Dan will be missing, so we'll be around for Friday night pint.
On the watch along by myself.
Yeah, Dan will be on the watch along. Yeah, so we've got Friday night pint coming up. We'll have the watch along. Me and Nikki will be at the game, so come and catch us for fan cams afterwards. There'll be all the match reaction, all the build up to the Brighton game, and then we, as I said, they come thick and fast. We've got Christmas, we've got Southampton, then Liverpool. Before we turn our attention to the FA Cup third round, and I'm not too sure who we've got after Liverpool. So games coming thick and fast, videos coming from us thick and fast. Make sure you tune into every single one. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. And there's one thing left to say, mate.
Come on, you irons. And happy birthday, Miss Amaret.
Yes, happy birthday.